my dudes, what's up? I hope you're having a damn great day. Welcome back to the channel. Of course, we've done quite a few of these videos, so thank you so much for supporting it. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Obviously, in this video, I'll show you how to replicate a realistic Girona career mode with manager. I think it's Michael? Anyway, obviously, we've done the realistic Girona career mode tactics. If you haven't seen those, I will link them at the end of this video, as always. But mainly, I'll be showing you transfer targets that you should look to try and bring into the club, players that you should look to try and sell, get rid of, loan, and how you should potentially start off a successful Girona career mode. Now, obviously, before we hop on into it, Girona starts off with a budget of 13 million. So, by no stretch of the imagination are you going to go make a 40 million pound signing, unless you go and sell quite a few of your players, and your good players, which would in turn screw you over. So, you wouldn't want to do that. So, it's smart signings that you're going for. It's smart tactics that you're looking to do. You got to be clever with your money. You have very, very limited amounts. And Michael will lose his job if you get rid of some of his best players. So don't do it. Now, obviously, taking a look at the team and the team management, the Girona tactics, I have replicated them before. I've shown you how to set up with their offensive structures. You know how you can, pile on the pressure tenfold. But obviously they set up in a 4-1-4-1 system. So you know what? I won't go too much into it because that video is an absolute cracker. That is up there with the Ten Hag tactics for me as like one of my favorite videos that I've made. It was so good to like create and like learn about. Oh, it was amazing. So you know what? Have a look at that video. It's a banger. And let's have a look at the team. Now, obviously, this side are vastly, grossly overperforming in every aspect of the word of overperformance. They are currently tied. As I'm recording this video, they are currently tied up at the top of the table, 10 points clear of the likes of Barcelona and Atletico Madrid. They're second, tied on points with Real Madrid. That's right, the big dogs, they are up there with them, playing fantastic football, relentless, fearless. Michael says you do, you say how high you're doing it, or how far you're going, because this team is going to the max. Like, you know how crazy, this will be like a Leicester City type fairy tale season if Girona win it. The only bitter point is that the City group own them and they've got a load of money, and it kind of makes it unfair. Like, if somebody else owned them, I would be like, let's go Girona! But because they're linked with City and so on, I'm like, like, it would be really cool if you win it, and it's amazing, the story and everything, but again, you're tied to City, so it does make it a bit bittersweet. Anyway, so having a look at the team, of course, we've got some goalkeepers here. Gazzaniga, fantastic. Former Tottenham player. If he wins a title with this team, it'll just show you how Spursy are. Anyway, pointers though. 79 overall, 31 years of age, Argentine international. A solid goalkeeper for the side going forward. Of course, you do have a few good backups here in Juan Carlos, of course, 73. And then you've got Fudias, 64. 22 years of age, can grow quite a bit. And then we hop on into the superstars of the side, of course, Miguel Gutierrez. He has been a revelation. He has been amazing inverting into the midfield. You know, I said this in the Arsenal video a few days ago. He would be perfect for Arsenal because he's so good at just inverting, linking up with that midfield, joining the midfield, creating overlapping runs, creating those underlapping inverted runs, just occupying a lot of space centrally. He's so good at doing so. And for this side and these tactics, and if you haven't seen the tactics video, I implore you to go have a look at it, because they are honestly like, oh, they are so good. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. That's how good that tactics video is. He is the guy to like take this team to the next level. So whether you sell him now or next season, you will get a lot of money for him. But I would say, at least for the first season, try and stick with as much of the squad as you possibly can. And try and win the damn La Liga title, man. God damn. And of course, you've got a few aging centre-backs here. So with the transfer targets, we'll look at some newer centre-backs, or one or two. Anyway, we've got the likes of Daley Blint. Fantastic, can shift into that left-back role, can play as a centre-back, can play as a DM. Very movable, very malleable, can shift wherever the manager needs him to, and he is so damn good at doing so. Of course, he is also 33 years of age, which does suck a little bit. Yeah, so we do have a few aging centre-backs. In fact, all of them except for the likes of Garcia, who is 22, can play as a DM, can also have that shifting mentality, whether he's playing in the midfield or whether he's playing in the back line. Very good. Obviously on loan from Barcelona. Now, I have seen that Barcelona are looking to potentially just sell him to Girona. Now, I don't know how that would work out. It would be very hard to do in this career mode, starting with 13 million. But maybe if you send him, you play the season with Girona, you get him, up to a decent overall. He goes back to Barca, and then you'll buy him. Obviously, it's much cheaper to buy him now, but you don't have the funds to do so. So it does make it very tricky, very hard. But I do think that he does have a massive overall. If you are looking to have a long Girona career mode, signing this guy to be your centerpiece in the defense for your future is pivotal. Honestly, pivotal. Also, a former Man City player as well. Quite a few of these players are former City players, which, again, the City link does make it a bit more bitter than sweet. But anyway. And then we've got this kid here as well. And then we've got Arnau Martinez, the flavor of the month, like I said a few episodes ago. Obviously, he's got a real face, can play as a right back, right wing back, and a centre back. With the tactic system, he does shift into that centre back role every now and then. But again, you can get a lot of money for him. I think he's got like a massive salon release clause, of like 60 or 70 million, depending on what you're using. But again, I would try and keep him for the first season, at the very least, keep him for the first season, and then try and build around with him, or build a team around him, the defense especially, or potentially next season you do as well as you can, sell him for a massive, massive fee. You can get close to 100 million for him, and then you reinvest that back into the squad. That's what I would do, and that's more or less the realistic approach, because I do think that he's not going anywhere now in January. Right, I don't think he will, unless, like, again, the release clause gets paid and it's a lot of money. But I see him in the summer going to a Real Madrid, a Manchester City potentially, a Arsenal if they are looking. I can see him going to a place like that, where he's going to be young, raw, but so good, massive potential. This kid is going to be up there for Spain, believe me. And then we've got a few other young players here from the youth academy. We've got Tony Villa, 28-year-old, considered a reject, and he's revitalized himself and his career at Girona, might I say. Of course, I've spoken about Savio in the City career mode video, but again, he is on loan, which does suck. And I don't see any way, shape, or form of you guys signing him in a Girona career mode. So unless you sell the likes of Martinez and so on and get a lot of money, you can then look to buy him back, and that would work out quite well. But yeah, it is a bit ass, because you only have 13 million to spend. But maybe for the first season you use him, you try and get the best out of him, and you try and look for a younger talent that's obviously a lot cheaper. You have him grow under the likes of Savio for season number 1, and then he develops for season number 2. Very much the Brighton model, I would say. And then again, we've got a few other youth academy products. Maybe one of these guys could be the next guy to step up on that left-hand side. We've got the likes of Garcia. Of course, he is 32, but again, solid rotational piece. And then we've got the other Garcia. Got quite a few Garcias in the side, but of course, wearing the captain's armband, 82 overall. Another player that you could potentially sell for a massive profit. I'm talking like 60, 70, maybe even 80 million pounds or euros for him. But he is the heartbeat, he is the engine, he is the playmaker of the side. So again, try and keep him for the first season or two. Try to build the midfield around him. And he does have a very good set of midfield partners to pair him up with. I mean, Herrera also from City, Martin from, I think, from Villarreal. He is left-footed, so it's a very nice balanced midfield if you do tend to go with those three, or the other Garcia as well. And then again, we've got a few young signings here. 69 overall, Kebe. And then Solis is 18, Colombian, 68 overall. Just missing 69, goddamn. But again, 18, can play as a DM, can play as a central midfielder, box-to-box role. He is very good. The only thing is, doesn't have a real face, which does irritate me. But if you can look past that, massive potential for Solis. Or I think it's Solis. I don't know. Or Solis. That's sounding like an idiot. But yes, I don't think you can go wrong with trying to develop this kid. If you do end up selling the likes of Alexis Garcia or Herrera or Martin or the other Garcia, he can be the natural replacement in the side. As for the others, you've got attacking midfielders now. Artero, 20 years old. You've got Toro, who has done a fairly good job on loan from Barcelona. I think they will look to try and make that deal permanent. They'll somehow look to make that deal permanent, and I implore you to do the same, because he can play on the wing. Maybe he can be your natural replacement for Savio, maybe. Or he can play more centrally if you would like. So I think he offers you quite a dynamic approach, if you ask me. We've got Porto, who is obviously 31 over the hill. But again, a nice, solid veteran leader in the dressing room. And then we've got Tiskankov, who recently signed for them, I think, or he may have signed last season or so, but I'm pretty sure it was recent, and he has been very, very good on the right-hand side. He has more or less been able to help Michael have this tactical approach with the tight space marking on the right-hand side, the quick passing in and around that area, and then the quick switch of play. It's all down to this man right here, because, of course, he's not the fastest, but you know what? Technically, he is absolutely incredible. On to the likes of Valerie. 23 years of age. Damn, I didn't realize he was that young. He doesn't have a real face, which is a bit of an irritant again. But nonetheless, we've got Valerie and Kuto. Now again, on loan from City, what I would do is I would try and buy him. Like this would be the one loanee along with Eric Garcia, that I try and sign on a permanent, because real face, quality, amazing dribbler, great weak foot. He's 21, he's Brazilian, can play as a right back, right wing back, or potentially a right midfielder, or even a left midfielder, and he can be the natural replacement for Savio. And then moving on though, we've got a few other players. Shuani, 36 years of age. He's getting up there in age. He's going to decrease quite a bit in your first season, so you should look to potentially sign a striker. But then of course you do have Dovbik, who has been insane this season for them, scoring goal after goal after goal. Incredible physical battering ram of a player. He should be higher, in my opinion. He's 26 years of age. Of course, he's also Ukrainian, just like Tiskankov. And I will say, yeah, he should definitely be a lot higher. But anyway, let's look at the transfers. We have got a few here. We've got 6 transfers. Now, I will say, I researched so much, but I could not find a thing. Like, whoever is running the boardroom at Girona, they are very good at keeping their lips sealed. And of course, I know it's Pep Guardiola's brother. But I do know that they were linked with a move for Mark Bartra. Now, I think he has recently moved back. No, he hasn't. He hasn't. Well, he has, but he hasn't. You are able to buy him. He is 32 years of age, which is slightly higher in the age brackets. You can't really build around him. But for the time being, he will still, maintain his 79 overall status. He's got a high work rate, high defensive rates. He can play in the midfield. I think at Borussia Dortmund a few years ago. Now, this is quite a few years ago. He was playing in the midfield in some games here and there. He's a solid player. He is Spanish, of course. And he does fit the mold of having Girona potentially pick up a player that's most teams would consider he's past his sell-by date. And Bartra is pretty much considered past his sell-by date. He's got a few good playing styles. He's got the interceptor, slide tackle, and of course aerial ability. He isn't the fastest of players, but his weak foot is pretty solid. He can be a great player for the side going forward, as well as this man right here, Martinez, left-footed, does have a few good playing styles as well, slide tackle and long ball, so the ability to play from the back, hit those quick balls over the top to the forwards. He can do so. He is left-footed, like I said. He is 32 years of age, just like with Bartra, but again, does fit the mold of maybe he's past the sell-by date. I will say he is in his first season with Barcelona, so maybe next season he will have gone down a bit. He is 82 overall to start off with, and he will probably decrease down to a 78, which is, again, perfect for your side. If you are looking to try and make a progressive signing, he will help a long way with that, might I say. And then, obviously, we move on to the more younger of the targets. 22 years of age, Sergio Gomez. You can sign him on loan from Manchester City, although if you had to sign him outright, I don't think you would pay a lot of money. I think it's around like 7-8 million euros, I think. More so. Obviously, he signed last season for City, so he is available for transfer this season. He can play as a left winger, so if you are looking to play him a bit higher up the field, you can do so. And of course, I've gone with him on the transfer list because of that City link. They do tend to do this quite a bit. Like we have seen they sell players in between the two clubs all the time. And then a man who recently moved from the likes of Girona to Barcelona for around 3 million. He does have a release clause of 30, and I'm like, Barcelona, you absolute snakes. Anyway, Barcelona don't like him, apparently. He is linked with a move back to Girona, and I'm happy with that, so we've put him on the list. Of course, it does make it a bit harder in the first season to try and get him back because he is and has just signed there. So maybe for a season 2, a realistic move would be signing Oriol Romeo. And then another Barcelona player. We've seen the likes of City and Barca interchange players quite a bit with Girona of late. But a young player, up and coming, can play as a central midfielder, a cam, a winger. Fermin, I think that's how you pronounce it. Very good. Attacking work rate is up there. Doesn't have a real face, but you know what? It's a face that you can at least deal with. He is 20 years of age. He is Spanish. He does fit the mold of this balanced approach with signing young and old players to try and help with the transfer strategy going forward. He wouldn't cost a lot of money either, which is why I think he would be perfect for your small budget team. Anyway, and then finally we've got the likes of Oscar Bob, another City player. He is left-footed. He does have a few good playing styles, incisive passing, technical dribbler, and of course he is a flair player. You can look to loan him in for the first season or maybe even outright buy him. He wouldn't cost a lot of money. He has a massive potential. 66 overall to start off with. And then I think around an 85, 86 potential. And that's not even factoring in dynamic potential. So I don't think you can go wrong with any of these signings. Of course, if I have missed out any, let me know down below. If you know of any signings that they are looking to make in the January window to try and help them boost them for their title push for the second half of the season, let me know down below. I would love to find out some of those fantastic names, so that would be great as well. Now, having a look at the youth staff. Now, obviously, Girona are a small team. They're not going to have a massive scouting system, which is why I only have one scout, and I implore you to only have one scout as well for the first season. We've been blessed with an experience and a judgment level of 5 stars each, and I've put them in Spain, looking to try and develop and sweep up as much young Spanish talent for your team going forward, and I would suggest you do the same. So moving on to the scouting area, I've put 3 scouting options in, looking at the left back, the DM, as well as the striker. Those are the 3 key areas I would suggest you look at first before you look at anywhere else in the team. So starting off with the left back, of course, there is only one left back on the side, and that is Gutierrez. Of course, you can play the likes of Dali Blind there, but you're looking for a more natural left back to replace Gutierrez in and out of the side, or potentially if you sell him, you are looking for a replacement, right? So the age bracket is 20 to 35. Contract length doesn't really matter. The overall conditioning, though, first team quality is a must, as well as potentially a first team prospect. So if you do find a younger player, that's fine, that's very accurate, or you might look for a slightly older player that can be just an out and out present natural replacement for Gutierrez and can help in the immediate presence without using a different word again. Anyway, defensive midfielder, though, again, age bracket 20 to 35, contract length doesn't matter, and again, first team quality as well as first team prospects. You are consistently going to be looking for the next up and coming thing. They are very much trying to implement the Brighton model, where you are looking for a player that you can bring in that can help you for your future in terms of sales, as well as the ability to play right now on the field. So that's more or less what I'm trying to go for with these instructions. And then obviously with the striker, it's the same set of instructions, but obviously you are looking for a number 9 that can potentially replace Dovbek and elevate the team going forward. So yes, people, that is what I would do for a Michael as well as a Girona career mode, a realistic version of it as well. If you have enjoyed this video, please hit that like button down below, subscribe if you are new. We do lots of videos like this, as well as tactics videos, which will be returning from tomorrow. Of course, tomorrow the career mode also comes back, so please stay tuned for that. I know it's been a while, it's been around a month or so that I haven't released a career mode update, and I am very excited for tomorrow's episode, as well as Sundays, to be fair. So if you have enjoyed this video, again, please like button, subscribe, smash that shit, please. And as per always, guys, I hope you have a damn great day. I'm out.